All right, welcome, everybody. We have got the equivalent of like a DB Cooper infamy on the episode today. Today, we have joining us from Vonage, we have Derek Hansen. Derek, welcome.
Hey, Sean. Good to be with you.
I'm so excited to have you, man, because we just wrapped up Citrix Launchpad series on work, and Vonage really is a relevant topic and really pertains to the stuff that was covered in that work Launchpad. Tell me, Derek, about Vonage. People may not be up to speed on the latest and greatest, so fill me in a little bit.
Well, sure. So with Vonage, I think a lot of people think and associate us with being a residential player, and that's really what our roots were. But what we did was we decided to go after, mid-market and as well as the enterprise market with our business solution. If you look at the history of what Vonage has done, it was very strategic where we went out and we did several acquisitions just to make us capable of being in a dominant position in the market. So we've focused on our UC solution, which we're going to talk a little bit more about today. And we also,
And hold on, you can't drop an acronym
oh,
without defining the
yeah,
acronym. So UC means
well, that's good for
what?
me too, because I'm like, oh yeah, UC, what is that? Yeah. So Unified Communications. And that's
Okay.
really just this notion of bringing it all into one application. So you've got your fax, you've got your voice, you've got your messaging, your SMS, all that in one application. So it's just one dashboard that the user or the employee would utilize. So that's just the UC portion, right? But we went and we acquired New Voice Media a few years ago, and that is our contact center play, very integrated into Salesforce and also available in other CRM solutions. And so we also have a contact center solution. We have our UC, and then we are really focused on APIs and programmability. So it's really just a single stack, all inclusive solution that you can get with Vonage.
Right. And that's key to, the Launchpad, the work series that we did today, is that, keeping those employees and having them get the ability to focus and not break their stride by switching around from one application to another, and having that all unified together within Citrix Workspace and a Vonage, and especially with like the contact center stuff from Vonage too, so critical to do. So tell me how Vonage is integrating with Citrix, and then what's the customer seeing from that?
Yeah, so we have really two to talk about, right? So our UC solution, which is Vonage Business Communications, it fits very nicely into the Citrix workspace. It will operate for voice, for video, for all these various types of communications that we were mentioning that give us that whole unified communications feel and look. But it is something where we can use optimization tactics provided by Citrix, such as browser content redirection and some of these things, to even further enhance and optimize that VDI experience for the user. So our VBC solution fits in nicely into a Windows or Mac OS virtual desktop, right? And we also have the ability with our contact center, it is web focused and WebRTC enabled. So we can also use our contact center through these same tactics to be able to give the agent experience in that virtual desktop environment, platform agnostic. So having both of those.
But with that reliability and security and that user experience that those employees need, because let's face it, those, especially like the contact center employees, they're often the first glimpse into an organization. It's the customer's first experience with an organization, is that contact center employee. And if they didn't have a good experience and they were, the call was fumbling and dropping, and they couldn't find everything that they needed to, regardless of what device or even where they were, God, think of how negative an experience that would be. So that's exciting to hear. And we're enabling these employees to really work from anywhere or on any device. Is that real?
I mean, yeah, it is absolutely. And this will kind of go into another point. When we look at using our UC solution, the desktop version of it does require a Windows or a Mac platform, right? But the beauty of virtualization, the beauty of Citrix, is we can have that running on a Linux box if we want. We can have that running on a Chrome OS or Chromebook, right? And so we've seen some really good innovation possible there using yourself, using your solution, so that we can bring a customer in and say, oh, well, we can't really get that to work natively, but if you have a VDI layer with Citrix like this, we can. And so that's been great.
Yeah. And now to think of employees and or contact center people who are fielding those calls, and they can just be drop shipped, like you said, a Chrome OS device anywhere around, and they're boom up and running virtual desktop with Vonage and VCC. And the unified communication experience. And it's just, local microphone, local camera, local headset, but it's running within the virtual desktop. And it just doesn't matter where they are. And the network can be compensated for with Citrix SD-WAN and Citrix networking. And so do me this favor, Derek, because if I'm sitting there and we've got a listener out in Wichita, Kansas, and they're sitting there saying, all right, well, I remember working the contact center, and I was on well, you can't see it, but here. I was on a call center, and, my call center experience was something like that. And they're thinking of that local handheld phone, but that's not even close to what we're talking about anymore, is it?
Well, we can meet the customer where they are, right? Or the user. If they want to use a desk phone, of course, we have that redirection as another method. And so they'd be able to use that touch tone or rotary dial, depending on where we're going there, to accommodate people in that situation. And we do find that some people don't want their soft phone on their computer and they really want a hard phone for communication. So yeah, we could cater to that.
And it goes beyond just that, though. Aren't there metrics and dashboards? And I was reading that it's the ability to actually see what's happening. Is it almost like judging what the customer experience is based on the conversation or the intonation of the conversation?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have a solution called Conversation Analyzer with our contact center solution. And it does just that. It's able to look at the conversation and figure out using, word analysis, how this call went. Was this something that, had maybe an upset customer or something like that? So customers are able to look back, from a supervisor perspective and really evaluate, for quality assurance purposes. And that's one of our features that we have in our contact center solution.
That's amazing stuff. But Derek, before I let you go, because my executive producer is telling me we're running out of time, I'm going to come at you from left field and a bit of a controversial question. Okay. Your favorite sport is what? And I think people will be surprised.
I love football.
There you go.
So professional.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And team?
So yeah, Denver Bronco fan here.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Football, baseball. I'm from Boston.
Okay.
I mean, you can't.
Okay.
That's it, right? That's all I have to say. I'm from Boston, and then you're like, I think somebody had once asked me down here in North Carolina. They asked me, "Are you one of those insufferable Boston sports fans?" And I'm like, "Is there any other type? I mean, you don't even have to use the words. Yeah, it's just they go hand in hand." But Derek, our listener out there, infatuated with Vonage. They want to be a Derek groupie specifically. What's the call to action? Where should we point them to?
So absolutely. So we have a website here that we're going to list. This is how we want you to contact Vonage. And we'll have somebody on our sales team work with you, engage, figure out what your requirements are, and be happy to have that discussion with you.
That's awesome. And Vonage with Citrix Workspace on the Citrix Ready Marketplace as well. Go check it out there. And don't be surprised if it blows you away with all of the capabilities that are now available. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us from here. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.